Good morning, dear procurement people. Have a wonderful cup of coffee, and let's start today with part two of our mini series on how to boost how others perceive a loved strategic procurement perception. And today we are talking about developing thought provoking content. But before we do that, let's quickly skip over to the intro.
Are you looking to up your negotiation and procurement skills? You're in the right place. Welcome to Procurement Zen with your host, Phil Kowalski.
So, as I said before, this is part two of our 5-part mini series. If you have missed yesterday's part about having a killer profile, make sure to go to procurementzen.com/043. But today we are going to talk about thought provoking content. So, what is thought provoking content after all? Well, from my point of view, it is doing things differently than they used to be, so to say. Brainstorm about a problem in your daily procurement life, and this does not necessarily have to be a huge topic, that could be something small, and develop a hands on solution to it. I have found out that this combination of problem and solution you have developed is usually something that helps you to stand out, and that gives this acknowledging nods from, oh yeah, that is that guy, well, interesting. So that's the kind of perception boost we as procurement want to receive. Or you can also expand an existing solution. Important is that you not only do it theoretically on a PowerPoint level, so to say, but rather you use the solution yourself. So let me give you a hands-on example. And what I have done in the past is creating a new contract negotiation checklist, or rather, it's not a checklist but rather a tool. So let me explain. If you have been in contract negotiation for some time, you might have heard the term redlining, and that is basically a process to exchange contract documents with suppliers and to phrase clauses until you finally have a joint alignment on them. So one part makes a proposal in a text processing document like an MS Word file, a contract proposal. Then they turn on track changes in Microsoft Word. Then parties start to edit the clauses which are negotiated. Plus they add comments. And if you have seen something like this, which I'm pretty sure of, after a few iterations, usually no more than 3, the content itself becomes unreadable. Plus, it comes with the flaw that sometimes things are changed without any reasoning, or sometimes the other party turns off track changes in Microsoft Word, or they delete stuff like that. So there was a dilemma, right? It was hard to read, it was sometimes hard to follow up with the reasoning. So I thought, what could we do better? And to overcome this dilemma of unreadable documents, I asked myself the following. So, couldn't we have a document or a file or a tool in which we record the changes, but the original document remains unchanged until the final clause is agreed upon? Also, wouldn't it be great if all parties are forced to provide reasoning for any kind of changes? And wouldn't it be great if the party that desires a change can classify the change? For example, this is a minor issue, that is a major issue, and this is even a deal breaker. So what I did basically is I then created an Excel spreadsheet that I now sent with every contract. So contract itself then comes in a PDF, in a quote-unquote unchangeable PDF, with the remark that I do not accept any changes or comments in the contract itself. The Excel spreadsheet then goes along with that, where people enter like, hey, that's chapter 1.2.1, they add your clauses XYZ, we want ABC, here's the reason for that. The Excel spreadsheet alerts the other party if they enter a change without a reason. The Excel spreadsheet actively asks the party to classify the change. Hey, is that a minor issue, a major issue, or a deal breaker? And this spreadsheet actively asks for an alternative phrase. So, meaning, hey, you cannot just delete something. We want to see at least a reason, but in best case, also an alternative. So, this avoids somehow the deletion without providing any alternative or any reasoning. And I have recognized for myself that this little Excel tool really streamlines the process. So I have also, the thing is, once you're done, you save so much time, and it has big advantages because you can in a big contract where you maybe have 50, 60, 70 things, you can say, okay, now we only filter for the minor things. We clarify them first. Okay, now all of a sudden we only have 20 things. Let's take the major tasks. Okay, now all of a sudden we only have 4, and that is the deal breaker. So you can structure your negotiation. You could also provide statistics about it, right? You could say, you could use it in your negotiation. There are so many advantages that just I did not initially think about, but that came, so to say, along the way. That I use this tool now every single time I negotiate a contract, and that is what I mean with thought-provoking content. The idea itself is not so new. Recording things in a spreadsheet, having something like a journal in a spreadsheet, that is not something new. But the combination of these small things and what I suggest that you do to develop this kind of thought-provoking contract, just maybe take an hour of time, make sure no one disturbs you, no distractions, and go through your week. See topics that you've been working on, and then maybe classify them and think about, hey, what of that is annoying, also annoying for others, and then think about, well, what could I do? Just some small changes. You are not going to invent the next, I don't know, e-bidding platform potentially, but these small changes really make the difference. And I have repetitively done that. So if you look at episodes 1 or 2 of the podcast, there we talk about the negotiation playbook. That is something that started like a few years ago as a small document, and now has grown into something really, really powerful and really helpful. So go over to ProcurementZen.com/001 and you find our negotiation playbook. It's also listed in the links to the video here below if you're watching this on YouTube, or over at ProcurementZen.com/044. That's ProcurementZen.com/044 for episode 44. One other thing I will also list here is what I call the mighty questions and answers tool. I made a special episode about this. That was episode 3. So you might want to have a look at it. But it doesn't stop there. A set of feedback forms is something I have also done to have a structure after an offer presentation. Because if the impression is fresh, it helps to note down what you've been thinking about this. So if you're interested in this kind of stuff, I highly suggest you leave a comment maybe with your ideas over at the blog or here on YouTube. Yeah, as I said before, you find the links in the description, but also on this episode's a show notes page, which is ProcurementZen.com/044. That's ProcurementZen.com/044 for episode 44. And tomorrow we proceed with our 5-part series on how to boost the external perception of strategic procurement with part number 3. So until tomorrow, always happy negotiations, and see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.